Hi, welcome back to another video. This is the Smell of Logic channel. I am Ramona, and today's Reddit stories are: what is a simple life skill that surprisingly many people struggle with? First one is basic hygiene. Reading, comprehension, critical thinking skills, empathy, car parking, and financial literacy. It's a hell of a good list. Budgeting. Yeah. Cooking. I'm a personal chef for a crew on a boat, and it blows me away the number of people I cook for that tell me they are terrible and can't cook basic stuff. Sewing on a button. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know how to sew. Swimming. Well, I'm there. I've never learned how to swim. I've always tried, but people have tried to teach me. I just don't have the ability or the desire, I guess, at this point. One that comes to mind is asking for help. It sounds simple, but so many people struggle with it, whether it's because of pride, fear of burdening others, or not wanting to seem incapable. The reality is, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And there's a reply. In some cases, people will use that help as leverage later on and hold over the person again and again. Basically, indentured servitude for that one time they helped you. You're not wrong about that, too. Being courteous to everyone. Just going into every interaction with respect and being courteous makes life so much easier. The amount of negative people on this planet is exhausting. Googling stuff they need to know. Also, managing their personal finances and budgeting. Thinking. Waking up from being asleep. Small talk. Cooking and laundry. The fact that these have somehow become most exclusively associated with women blows my mind. Like, oh yeah, I'm a 32-year-old man. Do you like eating food so you don't die? Do you like your clothes to be clean so you're not wallowing in your own filth? Okay, so then you do need to learn how to prepare basic meals and how to work the washing machine. Making a decent cuppa. Knowing to wait to get on or in an A train or a building. Posture. The unpunctuality. More critical thinking. Most things Gen Xers learn from parents that have the time and want to teach. Easy to set kids in front of the TV or hand them a phone now. Self-reflection. Spelling and grammar. Stopping their car before the crosswalk instead of in the middle of it. It constantly happens. Not winning, not getting their way. There are so many people who go into full defeat mode over minor slights. An example from a former boss. That's a good idea, but let me check with XXX, a world-renowned expert, to get his opinion. He loses his shit. How dare you disrespect me by consulting this person? I did it anyways, and turns out they tried it before and it didn't work for a long list of reasons. I do not miss that dude. Prioritizing desires. Communication. Life experience and challenging their own beliefs. How their actions can impact others. Being kind. Reasoning. Actually starting instead of over-planning. We all spend hours researching the perfect system, color-coding planners, or doom-scrolling productivity hacks, then burn out before we even do the thing. De-escalation. Tucking their shirt into their pants. Setting boundaries. It's essential to know when to say no to protect your time and energy, but many of us, I think, find it difficult to do this without feeling guilty. It's key for maintaining healthy relationships and self-care. Changing a flat tire. Cooking, making the dishes, laundry, or I think you mean washing the dishes, and laundry. The proper use of apostrophes. Person-to-person communication skills, establishing and acting on long-term goals and critical thinking. Logic, self-reliance. Basic tool skills. You don't need to be a master carpenter to use a screw gun and not strip out the screws. Self-awareness and reliance. Driving. People do not comprehend that driving 45 miles an hour and crashing is the same as driving off a 7-story building. The force involved with driving around are insane. Saying excuse me or just announcing yourself in general. I've worked in the customer service industry for 22 years, currently work for a large grocery chain. The amount of people who just push past each other or try to go around without saying something is mind-boggling. They'll run into each other with their carts before they'll ask a stranger to move. Just say, excuse me. What's even worse is the disregard folks show to employees. For example, I'm stocking product in a cooler. I'm squatting. My back is to the public. I stand up. Boom, I've just knocked heads with a fellow who is leaning over me without saying a word. Just say, excuse me. I'm standing on a ladder, stocking product, and all of a sudden there's a person at my knees trying to find a box of pasta on the shelf in front of me. I could have kicked you in the head, ma'am, or I could have fallen off this ladder. Please say, excuse me. So, if people are missing these life skills, how did it happen? Some were spoiled, some were ignored, but some of us were forced to be parents to our siblings and raised kids with these skills. What else has happened? Keeping the phone down. Being aware of where you're standing to have a chat. Ironing. Self-control. Not being able to resist purchasing stuff they don't really need is why many people struggle to pay off their bills despite making plenty of money. All those little transactions add up to hundreds of dollars by the end of the month, but most people can't see the bigger picture and they just think, it's only $10, without thinking about the fact that if they do that every day, that $10 becomes $300 every month. Communicating through speech. Teenagers in the same room these days message each other. It's bad. Living with other people. Listening. Managing people. Ability to continue any good daily habits without stop. Pick anything. Seems like everything from basic hygiene to being able to go outside and everything in between. Getting out of social media while working. Manners. Tying your shoelaces. Common sense. Assertiveness and boundary setting. Feeding themselves. Paying attention to their surroundings. Selflessness. Reading the room and sacrifice. Cooking. I'm still surprised by how many people I meet that can't cook something simple like scrambled eggs, for example. I've known people whose entire diet involved hot dogs and mac and cheese from a box, and fast food. Admitting when you're wrong. Money management. Looking where they're going in reality as to busy on phone net, but they miss reality. Ooh, here's a good one. How to apologize. And another good one. Asking questions. Self-soothing, being independent, not needing someone to process every little emotion you have, working through things on your own. Scheduling and estimating travel times. Making an actual phone call. Common sense. Where I work, it's a ridiculous ordeal for getting on/off elevators. Must let women get on first and off first. Hey, Mr. Chivalry, you're literally blocking everyone when you get on last. Get out of the way. Problem solving. I work with people every day that don't understand how to troubleshoot their lives. Do I click next? Yes, you effing click next. How else do you expect to proceed? Doing laundry and cooking. Interpreting a weather forecast. So many people seem to have zero clue when it comes to basic meteorology. I'm still not convinced that the majority of Americans could explain the difference between a watch and a warning, and it's incredibly simple. Considering the opportunity costs for more decisions. It's not just the bigger ones. Cleanliness and cooking. With the internet touching on everything out there, it's people's complete laziness keeping them ignorant. Directions. Even simple directional sense, like using your phone to help you get to work, or not being able to point to where you just came from. It's basic geography. The fact that some people can't find their own country on a map is baffling. Making change. Counting back money. Brushing their teeth. Being aware of the traffic all around you and acting accordingly. Manual driving, growing food, fishing, hunting, building, critical thinking. We all need these things for thousands of years, minus the driving, and they have basically disappeared in a couple of generations. Having a real conversation. Holding themselves accountable for their actions. Putting shopping carts in the cart corral in the parking lot rather than putting them near the front of the cart corral. Self-soothing without the use of intoxicants or distractions. Honestly, time management is a big one. It's like the backbone of productivity. So many people struggle to actually get it right. Merging. I'm assuming they're talking about driving there. Emotionally mature relationships. And someone replied with, emotionally mature relationships are not a simple life skill. I think that depends. Honesty and accountability. Manners and etiquette go a long way. Please, thank you, excuse me. I'm hopeless on the telephone. Email, social media, in person, Skype and Zoom, even old-fashioned letter writing, no problem. But talking to someone in real time, when I can't see them, I get confused and forgetful. Persistence. Good things take time to develop. If we could all apply the same persistence we use to learn to walk in other things in our lives. Reading instructions before asking for help. Street map, motor map reading, knowing how to get from A to B. I had a girlfriend who would jump in a car and then just go. No planning whatsoever, no sense of direction, and no sense of distances or how long it would take to get there. Showing up on time. Delayed gratification. Housekeeping. Making the bed, storing the clothes and other possessions neatly, organizing a home. I'm shocked by how many people just throw stuff around and don't make their bed in the morning. A chaotic home equals a chaotic life. Being polite. Speaking clearly. Respect. Taking the time to think about a question before answering. It sounds simple, but for many, the need to speak is too overwhelming. Differentiate between what's important and within our control and what's outside our control. It took me years to be able to differentiate the two. Suffered a lot, but I'm wiser now. Being courteous and considerate of your fellow man. Handwriting, social graces, mailing a letter, doing laundry properly, folding laundry, changing the oil in the car from time to time, taking care of their health as best they can. Reading apparently is a secret power shared by few. Basic math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and fractions. Dealing with their own emotions. I find that a lot of the young people no longer have the ability to accept constructive criticism. It's not on them, it's on us and the school system where everyone gets a participation ribbon. Driving. People in their 40s plus are absolutely terrible at it. I can't think of anything else people do multiple times almost every day for 20 plus years and still fail to get good at. That's a lot of wasted practice. Telling the truth. Shower after having a poo before going into the public swimming pool. Spend less than you earn. Calculations made inside your head. Making friends as an adult. Math. Driving a stick shift. Lots of cooking things here. Apparently that's a big thing. Task prioritization. I'm working so hard to teach my 14-year-old son how to prioritize and deprioritize tasks and when to say you can't get something done immediately. Being a safe space for themselves and others. Growing their wealth. Eating properly. This is less obvious. I'm in the freight industry and too many people don't know how to sort, stack, and organize things. Did they not get rid of playing with shapes or did they get rid of playing with shapes in elementary school or something? Sincerely making a good cup of coffee. It's easier than most people think. building connections, objectivity and self-awareness, living within your means, vehicle maintenance and self-defense. The olds at the checkout who don't know how to use the debit and credit cards. So many of them act like it's the first time they've ever gone shopping or seen a debit or credit machine. Speaking with customer care or anyone in general for anything. I know people in my life who will ask for me to help them to make them appointments and visit anywhere with them so they feel confident. Paying their bills on time when they can easily set up autopay. Knowing what to do at a four-way stop. It drives me bonkers. Yeah. Putting themselves in someone's shoes. Being alone. Keeping their mouths shut when something doesn't involve them. Not everything needs a comment. Cutting uncut bread. Keeping an opinion to themselves. Stress management. Self-awareness and empathy. Like there are people who have no idea that their actions affect other people. They only see the world in terms of how everything affects them and aren't willing to do anything for anyone outside of their immediate family or friends. Patience. Being a healthy partner. Making change for a $20 bill, or just making change in general. Lifting the rain before peeing in a public toilet. Adapting to society. Oil changes. Personal responsibility. Owning one's mistakes is so much easier in the long run than dealing with the repeated bouts of stress and conflict that result from not being able to do so. Parking their car. Seriously, 2 hours practice in an empty car park will make you the absolute badass at parking. There really is no excuse. Time management. I'm a person who likes to be early for meetings and whatnots. The amount of time people arrive 10 to 15 minutes late is dumbfounding, and they act like it's not rude. I don't want to sound like a geezer, but it's mostly younger people who do this. Older generations are also frequently late, but they have the decency to apologize for it. Coping. Typing on a keyboard with proper form. Telling the time, counting change, and spelling. Handwriting. Reading the room. Some people just have zero awareness of social cues, and it's honestly baffling. How to learn. Read manual time from a clock. More people are only able to read the digital time. And some of the manual time, I'm assuming you're talking about analog clocks, which, yeah, some people have a real hard time with that. Routine car maintenance, changing oil, tire topping off fluids, replacing wipers, replacing brake pads, drums, and rotors. It's really not that difficult and will save you thousands of dollars in fees and labor. Basic, honest communication. And we're going to end it with this one. Simply saying thank you. So there you go. There are some simple life skills that surprisingly many people don't know. Share yours down in the comments if you'd like to, or comment on some of these. But thank you for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you later on. Bye.